The Voice. This Johnny Cash battle performance was like an awards show performance. Following the seventh night of blind auditions on season 22 of The Voice, all of the teams were finally complete. Team Blake kicked off the battle rounds with one heck of a performance covering Johnny Cash's classic Folsom Prison Blues. He put teenage Austin Montgomery up against Tanner Fussell, which might be one of the hardest decisions he makes all season. Montgomery's sound from another time that transfixed the coaches when he previously covered Hank Williams was a perfect fit and sounded effortless next to Fussell's gravely twang with a rock edge. The performance was so spectacular it brought John Legend, Gwen Stefani, and Camila Cabello to their feet with applause, Coach Blake looking as pleased as ever. Cabello looked particularly impressed by the performance, saying that it sounded like an awards show performance. She's not wrong. Though she wasn't familiar with the song, she admitted that it was incredibly fun to watch. But she was so impressed, she wasn't really sure who should win the battle. Stephanie followed up with her feedback, saying she was blown away by the performance. She noted that Montgomery specifically had some rock star moments, really impressed by his skill set when this was only his fifth or sixth live performance. Though she said Fussell's voice was perfection, she just couldn't stop being impressed by the fact that Austin Montgomery is only a teenager and has so much untapped potential, so he would be her pick. It's always interesting to hear what the non-country coaches have to say about traditional performances like this. And John Legend noted that they don't stand for everyone who performs, so this was a particularly good performance. When analyzing the two singers, he noted that Montgomery's young age and dedication to his craft means he has a ton of potential, but that when Fussell entered the song, it was like, whoa, I'm in a whole other world. He added he'd probably choose him over Montgomery because his performance felt so real and authentic. Once it came time for Blake Shelton to make a choice, he admired both performances and noted that it would be the right decision regardless of who he went with. Ultimately, who did he choose? Shelton decided to move forward with 19-year-old Austin Montgomery. On The Voice, unforgettable performances often transform an ordinary stage into a grand, exhilarating spectacle. Such was the case when a Johnny Cash-inspired battle round electrified the audience, coaches, and contestants alike. As Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, and a new crop of coaches sat ready to critique, this Johnny Cash battle performance transcended typical competition fare, turning what was meant to be a duel into something akin to a live awards show performance. The stage setup was deceptively simple, but there was an aura of anticipation that suggested this was no ordinary duet. The two contestants, representing a contrasting blend of voices and styles, brought their own personal interpretations of Cash's legacy, yet somehow merged them seamlessly into one unforgettable moment. As the lights dimmed, the first strum of a guitar rang out, signaling the start of a performance that would stand as a defining moment in this season of The Voice. The choice of song, a nod to Johnny Cash's legacy, choosing a Johnny Cash song for a battle round comes with significant risks and high rewards. Cash, a legendary figure in country music and beyond, is known for his deep, resonant voice and haunting lyrics that speak to timeless human struggles. His songs are as much about storytelling as they are about singing, and a weak interpretation could easily pale in comparison to the original. However, the coaches, led by Blake Shelton, who has a deep appreciation for country music, made a daring and bold decision. The song chosen for this battle round was Cash's iconic Ring of Fire. This track, with its unmistakable mariachi horns and slow-burning lyrics, is no small feat to cover. It demands not only vocal ability, but also a keen sense of storytelling, charisma, and an understanding of the emotional depth embedded within the song. Shelton knew that this was the perfect song to showcase the duality of the contestants. One singer with a raw, gritty voice, and another with a smoother, more contemporary country tone. Together, these two would attempt to bring their own flavor to Cash's classic without losing the essence that made it great. The contestants, a clash of titans. The two singers in this battle were no ordinary competitors. On one side was a young man with a voice that sounded like it came straight out of the backwoods. His raspy, blues-infused tone hinted at a life lived hard, full of experiences that resonated with the soul of Cash's music. On the other side was a woman whose crystalline voice was the embodiment of modern country pop, yet she had a way of bending notes that carried an emotional punch, reminiscent of Cash's ability to make even simple lyrics sound profound. This matchup promised fireworks from the beginning, and both singers understood the weight of the song they were about to perform. It was not just about hitting the right notes, it was about embodying the spirit of Johnny Cash. In the rehearsal room, tensions were high as both contestants grappled with the challenge of balancing their individual styles while also blending harmoniously for their duet. Blake Shelton, along with the guest mentors, provided guidance that focused on telling the story rather than just performing the song. Johnny Cash had a way of pulling you into his world, Shelton said. He didn't just sing, he made you feel something deep in your gut. That's what you've got to do, make the audience feel like they're right there in that ring of fire with you. The battle begins, a fiery duel. As the performance began, the atmosphere shifted. The stage was bathed in red and orange lights, an ode to the fiery nature of the song, and the audience sat in rapt attention. The opening guitar riff echoed through the studio, evoking memories of Cash's own performances. And then the contestants began to sing. The first voice, gritty and full of passion, cut through the air like a knife. There was a rawness to his delivery that felt like a direct line to Cash's spirit. He didn't try to imitate the Man in Black, but instead brought his own pain and joy to the forefront, creating a performance that was both unique and true to the original. The second voice entered soon after, her clear, bell-like tones providing a perfect counterbalance to the rougher edges of her partner. Her voice soared over the melody, adding a modern twist to the classic song. Together, they created a mesmerizing interplay of voices, a delicate push and pull that kept the audience and the coaches on the edge of their seats. As the song reached its climax, the intensity grew. Both singers pushed their voices to new heights, yet remained in sync, feeding off each other's energy. It was a powerful, magnetic moment that felt less like a competition and more like a full-blown concert. Their harmonies locked in perfectly, and the sheer power of their combined voices filled the studio, making it feel like a much larger venue. The coaches' reaction, awe and respect as the last note rang out. There was a moment of stunned silence in the studio before the audience erupted into applause. The coaches were visibly moved. Blake Shelton, normally cool and composed, had a look of amazement on his face. That, he said after a long pause, was like watching an awards show performance. You guys weren't just battling each other, you were putting on a show for the ages. Kelly Clarkson, who often wears her heart on her sleeve, was equally impressed. I have chills, she said, rubbing her arms. I don't know how you two managed to keep the essence of Johnny Cash while also making it completely your own. That was incredible. John Legend, though less familiar with country music, recognized the significance of the performance. You both have such different styles, but you made them work together in a way that I wasn't expecting. This was a masterclass in how to do a duet, especially with a song as iconic as Ring of Fire. The aftermath, a performance to remember. In the end, only one contestant could win the battle, but the true winner was the audience. This performance became a defining moment not only for the contestants, but for the show itself. It was the kind of battle that raises the bar for future performances, leaving a lasting impression long after the lights have dimmed and the stage has cleared. The Johnny Cash battle on The Voice wasn't just a competition.